In this video, I'm going to give you 10 money-saving tips that you could do today to help accelerate your path to financial freedom. What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Brad. I make videos with tips and motivation on how to get out of debt, how to stay positive, and reach financial freedom. If that sounds like something that might make your life better, consider subscribing and hit that bell notification so you get told every single time I release a video or go live. In the last 18 months or so that I've been trying to reach financial freedom, there have been many money-saving tips that I've learned along the way that have helped me accelerate my path to reaching that financial freedom. The reason for making this video is I've learned a lot of these things from YouTube and from people that I've been listening to. These aren't your cliche tips that you hear all the time, like turn off the lights and things. These were things that I never even thought of to even consider to save some money. So I want to share those 10 things with you right now. If you use any of these money-saving tips, drop down in the comments below. Let me know which ones you used, and please, I beg you, leave a tip for me that I can add to this collection. Oftentimes, these money-saving tips can seem so obvious to us, but we don't really think about it because it seems like such a small amount of savings per day. And I agree. There were some things that I'd heard of that I didn't even try and do because I was like, why do I want to save $1 or $2 here and there? That's not really a big deal. But then I looked long term over the course of months and maybe even years, and I looked at the overwhelming savings that I could do by just making small changes today, right now. At the end of the day, I thought to myself, if I woke up every day and somebody handed me $5, would I take it? Absolutely. And that's essentially what you're going to be able to do if you take even some of these tips. First, let's start in your home. Especially now with the summer months coming, the need for really hot water in your house is not really necessary. And I was told that many of us keep our hot water heaters heating water 20, even 30 degrees hotter than it should be. It makes sense. When you turn on the shower every morning, you wait for it to get really hot, and then what do? You turn it down, you turn it down, you turn it down. Well, imagine if you could turn it down from the source and didn't have to waste money heating that water over and over again. Statistics show that every 10 degrees you could turn down your water heater, you save 3 to 5% of your energy bill. And with most people keeping their water at 20 and even 30, you're looking at almost a 10% savings every single month when it comes to your heat bill. And this is even more in the summertime when we tend to take even colder showers. I know in the winter we kind of refuge to the shower to take a nice warm, relaxing, mind-clearing event out of the shower. But in the summer months, as it approaches, think about turning down your water heater. It's very, very easy to do. There's a dial on there which is either going to give you a temperature or it's going to give you a range. In my old house, it said ideal heat. I went just below that ideal heat, and now I have a temperature gauge. I keep my water at 105 and I don't even notice it. And when I moved in, it was set to 130. So think about maybe turning down your water heater just a little bit to save 5 to 10% of your heating costs every single month. Another thing that I learned from the debt-free community and the FIRE community was that you can buy your own router and modem. If you have the internet or TV in your house, you're most likely leasing that modem and router from your cable company for about $10 to $15 every single month. I thought that this was specific to that particular cable company, and it turns out that's not the case. You can go on Amazon right now and buy a router and a modem combo for only about $75. And if you're like me and you don't have cable, then you can even cut that cost down because you won't need the bundle of both. To find out how much you're leasing your modem and router from, just go online, look at your statement. It'll tell you right there. And then you can add that up over the course of 1 year or even your 2-year contract and realize it is a shame that so many people lease their routers. Turn it in today, go on Amazon, you could have one in a couple days, and then it'll be yours. And you will save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this simple switch. And you had to know this was coming if you follow me. My last tip in the home, you guys, you got to cut the cord. You have to. I was somebody that held on for so long. I'm going to miss cable. I need cable. I need a landline. Having cable is so outdated right now. With all the streaming services out there and being able to go on the computer to your specific channel and watch a specific show, it is a shame that we pay so much to cable companies for channels that we will never, ever watch. Oh, but I love Game of Thrones, Brad. I got to watch Game of Thrones. HBO Go is $10 a month. So you get HBO Go for the 2 months that Game of Thrones is on. That's only $20. I have YouTube TV and just the internet, that's it. And it comes in at like $80. How much are you paying for cable, internet, and your phone, your savings bundle? I'm telling you, You have to cut the cord. Please, I beg you, cut the cord. It will save you hundreds of dollars per year. The next two tips come from the number one biggest drain that the debt-free community and the fire community has told me about, and that's having a vehicle. Now, for me, I have to have a vehicle. It's just something that I can't give up. So if you have a vehicle that you can't get rid of, think about these two money-saving tips that you could do today. I never realized that when you go to the gas station that there's a different price for cash and for credit. I never knew this. I never knew that if I swiped my card or paid cash, there'd be a different price. And in most cases, the advertised price is the cash price. For convenience purposes, I always pulled in, swiped my card, and that was it. Turns out that you are going to be paying from 10 cents even up to 60 cents more per gallon if you use your credit card. So consider every single time you fill up the gas, maybe take the extra second and go in and find the attendant and pay them in cash. I personally keep cash in my cash envelope just for gas, and it saves me a considerable amount of money. This is one of my biggest savers yet. So look at your gas station next time you go. See if there's a different price between credit and cash, and if there is, think about using cash. It will save you a ton of money. Somewhere on your car that you can find a little bit more savings, not too much, is watching the pressure inside your tires. As a cyclist, I know that when my tires are flat, it is much harder to ride a bike when the tires are not at their proper inflation. The same goes for your car. There is a number posted on the side of your tire which tells you the ideal PSI for that tire to be run at. And the science nerd in me knows as the temperature goes up and down, so does the air pressure inside your tires. So I tend to check mine, especially when the seasons are changing, every month or so. At worst case scenario, when you get your oil change, make sure that the person doing your oil change is just checking that pressure for you. It's essentially free gas, and it's pretty easy to do. You can go down to your local gas station, and they'll usually help you out, or just look on the side, and they have a free pump right there. Make sure your PSI on your tires is good. A little bit of savings, but it's free gas that adds up over time. And the last car saving tip I have for you is just to go back and look at your car insurance policy. As somebody in the debt-free community reaching financial freedom, I have an emergency fund in place. And it turns out that when they recommend a policy for you, the deductible is very, very low. And at first we're like, great, I won't have to put up a lot of money. But that accelerates the price of that policy. I have a $1,000 deductible now where the most common ones have $500, and this saves me a considerable amount of money. So just take a look, because the difference in price, if I drive for about a year accident-free, I make up that price in deductible, and any time after a year that I'm driving accident-free, I'm actually saving money. Also, when you get your insurance policy, if you pay in full up front, there is usually a huge savings. I have a 6-month policy, and if I pay up front, that saves me $95. That is a ton of money over the year. And all I did was create a sinking fund, a 6-month sinking fund to save up for my insurance. You could do the same if you can't lay that money out right now. Create a sinking fund. Consider paying your car insurance in full and see how much money that you could save this year. While we're on the topic of insurance, there's something that you could do today to save you an amazing amount of money. If you are somebody that has a whole life policy, a life insurance policy that has whole life, I cannot tell you enough. And you know that I don't give unsolicited advice. But I'm telling you right now, you are doing such an incredible disservice to yourself if you have a whole life insurance policy. The prices are astronomical, and the cash value that these have are just terrible, terrible returns on investment. Today, I beg you, if you have a whole life insurance policy, close it out, take the cash value, invest that in a mutual fund, and get yourself term life insurance. But Brad, what happens if my insurance runs out the day after I die? If you take care of your money, when you get to that age, you won't need life insurance anymore. You'll be set financially. Term life insurance only screws people over if they're terrible with money their entire life. The day that my term runs out, I'm going to be so financially free that my family isn't going to need any insurance from me. And if I happen to pass away before that, so be it. But I'll tell you this, 1 month of my whole life insurance policy costs more than the entire year for my term, and I got a larger premium upon death. I did a video on it way back in the day. You probably have to search back in the archives. Maybe I'll put it down in the description below. But do your research, guys. If you have a whole life insurance policy, you are throwing away thousands, not hundreds, thousands of dollars per year. You could change that today. And I just mentioned that it was a terrible return on investment and that you should go invest it somewhere else. The next tip for saving money is to avoid high-cost mutual funds. And even worse, the dreaded actively managed fund. Guys, if you do your research, you'll find out that actively managed funds very rarely, if ever, beat the indexes of the S&P 500 and the total stock market. But their fees are 5x, 6x, 7x compared to an index fund that you can get today. Obviously, when it comes to investing, you have to do your own research, but I'll tell you personally, I have one fund inside my retirement, and that's VTSAX, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Fund. And the expense ratio on that is 0.04. Now, granted, Vanguard is traditionally one of the lowest expense ratios that you can invest in, but you could still find them. When you start getting up to 1 and over 1% expense ratios, you are throwing away hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars over the course of a lifetime. My buddy JJ Buckner just did a video and he showed the math of two people that had a 1% and had a 0.04%. It is ridiculous. If you have a high expense ratio, go check that out today. Get out of that high expense ratio and look for something that's below 1%. We got 2 more tips to go. My next one, guys, is to avoid name brand shopping. And this goes for everything, not just the cliche things like clothes. I personally do my grocery shopping at Stop and Shop. I know Aldi's is a big one amongst the community. I don't have one of those local. But when I buy food, I'm always buying Stop and Shop brand. It is the exact same thing for a fraction of the price. And I guarantee you, if you serve it to somebody, they won't be able to tell the difference. Now, food is a pretty cliche one. Most people know about this. But here's one I really want to point out to you. When you go to the pharmacy, when you're getting your ibuprofen, your Advil, and anything like that, even Band-Aids, look at the ingredients on the back. Tylenol cold and sinus versus Stop and Shop or Target cold and sinus, the exact same ingredients, the exact same drugs, a fraction of the price. And all it takes is 2 seconds to grab one and the other and look at those ingredients on the back. Avoid name brands when shopping for toiletries, food, and drugs. It will help you significantly. It's ridiculous when I found out that a name brand, Tylenol cold and sinus, was 4 times more expensive than the same exact drug in a store brand. So take a look at that next time you go out to buy ibuprofen. Don't get that name brand. Get that store-bought. And the last tip I have for you that you can do today, and this is sometimes the hardest one to do. It was the hardest one for me, and that's why I saved it for last. You need to cut unused rotating subscriptions to things. And the big ones include, for me, Amazon Prime. That thing just renews. Turns out, I don't use Amazon that much, and I was paying them multiple hundreds of dollars every single year to have that, and I didn't even know it was renewing. Think about how much you use Amazon, and think about most people have it for the 2-day shipping. How much do you really ship during the year? Do you need Amazon Prime? And also, gym memberships. And we all fall victim to this at least once in our life. If you have a revolving, reoccurring, auto-renewing gym membership, and you're not going to the gym, it's time to be honest with yourself. Get rid of that. Others include magazine subscriptions, TV subscriptions, Netflix. What are you not using that you are paying for over and over again? Most of us have 3 or 4 things that we're really not using. Go find those and find one of those 3. You don't have to rip the Band-Aid off. Find one of those 3 and just cancel it today. If you never thought of one of these tips, give this video a thumbs up. If you got some more tips that I can do today, please let me know in the comments below. Have you done any of these tips yourself? Which one has saved you the most money? Until I see you on the next one, guys, work hard, stay super positive, be kind to others. It's a Friday. I hope you have the most amazing weekend you've ever had in your life, and I'll see you on the next one.